Hey, change of scenery today. So I'm in my car for two reasons. One, I want to not do this in my apartment. I want to get out of there. And I want to talk about my experience being autistic and driving. I got my license when I was 25, got my permit when I was 17, and learning to drive, it was inconsistent. So my mom started teaching me to drive, and that didn't last very long because she got really nervous, and that nervous energy affected me, and I couldn't, drive in a safe manner. So my dad started teaching me to drive, and that was about a year until he passed away. So there was really no one to actually help me drive. I did go to driver's ed, but that was a very bad experience. The teachers of the drivers at that driving school were not that great. They were hostile, and they just tried to pump a lot of money out of me. And I had this really one bad instructor that kept yelling at me, calling me a fucking idiot, just being very vulgar about everything. Like, I was told to wait for him in the car. I'm sitting in the car in the driver's seat, and the car's not running. I don't have the seatbelt on. He just opens the passenger door and calls me a fucking retard for not having a seatbelt on because I'm a dumbass. And when I tell people that, they don't believe me. Apparently that can't happen. That's what people said. So it's people that that was happening, that people finally called, oh, they're just trying to get money out of you. I'm like, I know. I said that several times. A few years later, my mom's boyfriend gave me a few more pointers on driving. Then I went to a different driver's school just to get a few more pointers on things before I actually went for the test. I wanted to go fully prepared, take it once, pass it, get on the road. But yeah, that worked out. The different school, the instructors were like, yeah, you're great, you just need to work on parallel parking and backing up, and yeah, you're good to go. So I did that, and at this time I was working third shift. I was doing overnight, stocking shelves, when it was a lot to balance, because it was hard to get the time in, because I'm on the opposite schedule with everyone. So when I got to the test, I get into the car. The person at the registry was like, how are you today? I'm like, I am tired. Like, why are you tired? And I told him I just got out of work. This was 7 a.m. They're like, you work third shift? I'm like, yeah. Like, oh my God. I passed the test. And I'm a pretty competent driver. Although with the autism, I do have a little bit of challenges that most people don't have. The sensory part. So if I'm driving, I can have a casual conversation. I can't have an in-depth talk with you. Because it's too distracting, and I can't divide my attention like that on the road and talking to someone constantly. It has to be a very light conversation. And I can drive with the radio on most of the time. Some days I can't, but some days I can't, but it's usually I can just like blast the radio, drive on the highway, but I can't do that and talk with someone at the same time. A lot of times, though, the sunlight, I'm sensitive to light, so sunlight, especially reflecting off other things, is really not pleasant for me. So that's why I have my glasses with the transition lenses, and they block out a lot of glare. But overall, my experience driving has been pretty good. I've been in a couple of accidents. My first accident was not my fault. I was driving through a parking lot trying to find my friend's place, and I was alone, and some guy backed up into me and just made this giant gash in one of my passenger doors in the back. And another accident, well, it's not really an accident, no one got hurt and only my car was affected, is that on the highway, I was driving my car on the highway, and I hear clanking, and I thought it was something in the back. I look back, I don't see anything there. I thought maybe, I don't know what it was. And it was hard to hear over my diesel engine in the car I had at the time. And then I come to a stop, and I just feel my tire just do this, just snake around. And that's when I realized my tire is gonna fall off. I don't know how I didn't feel that before, so I try to get off the highway. I'm getting towards the exit. I can just feel the tire shaking. I come to a stop, and the tire just bolts down the highway like a bat out of hell. Missed every car, and it was rush hour, and there was assistance on the highway, and they were able to give me a hand getting my tire back. Did a quick job to get it on. They had to borrow bolts from the other tires, but it was a lot of repairs I had to do. There was damage done, but I was able to save the car until it died later. And I don't usually drive with a car full of people because I can't really handle that with all the noise. And it was one time where I went to an amusement park with two friends. There was a lot of conversation, and I just couldn't focus on the road, so I had to swap with one of them. Somebody else drove the rest of the way, but it was a good time. So overall, my experience of driving has been pretty good, but if you're autistic and trying to drive, or you know an autistic who's trying to drive, just be a little patient. It can take us a little bit more time to get there, depending on who it is you're dealing with, depending on who you're teaching. Everyone takes a different learning curve. So, and if you can't drive or don't want your license, that's also okay. Driving definitely isn't for everyone, and I know a lot of people who don't have their license, and none of them are autistic. So, yeah, that's my story for today. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.